Speaking of basketball, though, just a quick story because we have lots to get to. We have
Quick
Shaq
story.
Diesel trivia.
Quick story.
I know you want to talk Aaron Rodgers. We got to talk about foul ball.
Yes.
There's so much to get to, so little time. I heard Ben Maller, the great Ben Maller, making some baba ganoush and doing what he does. And he went on this whole rant about LeBron James at the Cavaliers game last night, which, by the way, Khloe Kardashian was also there to root on Tristan Thompson.
First time she brought the
First
kids.
time she brought the kiddos.
Not surprised. Maller is a big LeBron fan, so he talks about him a lot.
I could tell. And his whole stance, and again, I'm giving you the gist, is that it was a big look at me, cry for attention, and against all ethics that we normally see in the NBA. And I agree with him.
You would.
I do. I don't. Well, why was he at a Cavaliers game? Because it's his hometown?
Is he not allowed to?
How often do you see things like that happen? I'm not mad at him about it, but I do agree with Ben Maller. I'm not mad at all. He can do what he wants. He's LeBron. In a lot of ways, he makes his own rules. But the one thing I didn't hear Ben say in that clip, and he may have said it on the actual show, but on the clip I didn't hear it, was, to me, I feel like he's putting it out there that if anyone's interested, I have that option, and I want you to consider my son. That's what I was sort of getting. That's the vibe I picked up on. Because isn't it coincidence that yesterday was also the results of the NBA draft combine with the measurements and everything? You're seeing all these highlights of Bronny James with his vertical and his reach and his shot and everything else. They're timing him. They're doing all these measurements, and he's looking NBA ready, and he's looking good, and he's in shape. And all of a sudden, LeBron's like, hey, Cleveland, what's up? Remember, I'm just a kid from Akron, and I got a kid too now. If you guys want some of this, you don't think he's just throwing it out there as like a little mini campaign to remind everybody that this could be a possibility? I know Danny G thinks he's in there with the Bus family, and that's a no way, but why is he there?
That's why I said that to you
Danny?
in our pre-show meeting. I told you, I don't think he's on a campaign trail for that because Jeannie Buss and him are best, friends. So, apparently.
You remember on National Women's Day, they were all, chopping it up and palling around, sitting there together. Like,
well, remember, he wants to play with his son.
Well,
he wants to play with his son. He wants to make that happen before he retires. That's his goal. Have the Lakers made this clear to him that that's going to happen? Because I guarantee you, the way they were loving, I'll say loving. Ben Maller said some other things. He talked about knee pads and everything else. The way...
Shocker.
I didn't hear anything about shockers. But the way they were loving...
What is he measuring?
The way they were loving LeBron, it looks like they'd roll out the red carpet and make anything possible for him. So
But
you don't think he was there for the fun of it with his family?
I think he was... obviously, he loves attention, so I get that. I think that's why he was there. Needing a team to sign Bronny and lure him there? No, I think he's going to...
needing that team.
Right, but
and sending signals out to other teams.
I feel like he's where he wants to be because he's earning a boat ton of money right now in Southern California. That's his ultimate goal, is to own the majority of the new NBA team in Las Vegas when it gets there. So he's, he still wants to win, but he's got his eye on the money right now. And he said recently that his priority is no longer playing on the same court at the same time as Bronny. Whether that's true or not, he's expressed that through Clutch.
Well, I will say
that's no longer his priority.
It made me scratch my noggin. I'm not mad at him for it, but it did seem a little odd to me. That's all.
Yeah,
Dan
DB.
Byer?
Guys, last week here on Fox Sports Radio, I stated that I think LeBron should retire because he sucks so much air out of this league. Like, it's the only thing we talk about. Mm-hmm. That's exactly what happened last night. Like, I know there wasn't a lot of buzz. Celtics regained the edge 2-1 in the previous game. No Donovan Mitchell, but to make everything about him always. And I do think that there was an ulterior motive last night. He may want to ultimately stay with the Lakers, but he also wants that love, that attention from Cleveland. And it is just...
Or he might want to just have the speculation of, well, maybe he wants to retire a Cavalier.
Yeah. And it's, again, it's about him, which, by the way, I've never felt was out of the realm of possibility. I mean, to have
how
a
many
third
greats
stint
book in
there.
their career like that?
Sure. But, I mean, it to me overshadowed what the game was, especially once Donovan Mitchell was out, because the outcome was...
I looked at that and I said, LeBron, no matter what he does, it's going to come across as looking
peculiar,
like he wants
though.
attention.
Yeah.
I thought it was more. Did he have a bottle of red
I
wine
was
under
just
his
going to
seat?
say,
That-
yes, there were two things that were more cringe. The full bottle of wine just for him under his seat and his wife's big American gangster fur coat.
So, I mean, yeah, way to go unnoticeable.
Just some observations,
but
man.
it just
Made me say, that's all.
But you know what? I think because LeBron is a, quote, lovable or hateable guy to many, these things he does will make you feel some type of way. You know, when Roger Clemens was at the end of his career and he's like, yeah, I'm not traveling with the team. I'll pitch when I want to pitch. Some of these like veteran future Hall of Famers have called their shots in the past, but when LeBron does stuff like that, it stands out more because of how he's received.
Now, next question. And by the way, if you guys want to chime in on that, you have your thoughts. I do agree. Dan Byer said it best, actually. He had ulterior motives, I think. Is it just an attention grab? I mean, a guy gets plenty of attention. I think that might be a tiny part of it. But I think he was sending out a message. Because we don't often see that.
Here's a question. What was he doing? Did he have other business in Ohio?
Not that I know, dude.
Well, I mean, it just his history and being from there.
Yeah.
No, but I'm saying, like, did he
Yeah.
go there to support someone in particular? Like, I'm thinking back, I could be wrong. Do you remember when the Phillies were in the World Series? Didn't some of Bryce Harper's former teammates that were in the league were sitting in, like, the front row watching him? Like, so other
May have been, but I could give you a LeBron example. He was at Game 5 of the 2021 NBA Finals when Chris Paul and the Suns were facing the Bucks. Chris Paul and him friends, but also, hey, LeBron's here. But that would be the connection of him going to that game specifically. I mean, it's an NBA Finals game. I don't know how many other ones he went, but you can say, oh, he's going to be there for Chris Paul, who was his buddy at that time. I don't see any of that. Nobody on Boston. Maybe Tristan Thompson, but that's a bit of a reach.
Yeah.
I think that his connection to that area and his previous history is the reason he was